I'm back sooner than I expected I would be. For a change, this is Region 2 content. It is Arcanist. It's a pretty box standard Arcanist build. There's nothing too funky about it. It is agility. It's on, like, it is aptitude 3. I wouldn't consider it funky though, because that kind of just is the standard in Region 2. Because, I don't know, Rift Bolt is cheap, and Silver Thread is the epic. And it's really nice. I guess there is an unconventional part about it, which is I have chosen to run... Insightless in this case. That's just because I feel like our two insights aren't as prominent as they would be in R3. Your spells do less individually. That's my thought. Let me put on some of the music. I don't know if the sync music is working. There isn't any, so we're putting on. They're not combat music. There we go. Oh yeah, I put Twisted on it. It's like Twisted 1. It's normal as Twisted, not pure pain and suffering, but it's kind of just here for kicks. Now, Invoker is pretty scary because, or at least is theoretically pretty scary because he has the silencing goons, and getting silenced on mage kind of sucks, but if you outrange him, you should be fine. Just like that. Not sure why the battle music decided to only show up after the Twisted was dead. I do like Omen 2 quite a lot because A, it's a good grouping ability. Lets you deal with, lets you pull together mobs to promptly murder, but strafe around that one. But it also gives the 15% vulnerability to anything you hit with an Omen, so it makes cleanup much more tolerable. Insight would of course let me get more spells off, but Omen 2 means that the spells that I do use do more. Just like that. Ooh, looks like there's the slowness on. Not too big a fan of those. Since the last time I played Arcanist in R2, it did get the buff. It got the Arcane Strike buff, but I ran Arcane Strike 1 and I also ran a part of Miss and not Frost Giants. So it doesn't affect me that much. It's only a 10% buff on top of what, like 6 point... What is the damage on this thing? 5. So I'm getting 0.5 extra Arcane Strike damage. Not the most helpful thing in the world. Definitely one of the interesting things about Mage that some people don't know, at least those who are new to the class, they might not realize, is that Thunderstep is your most damaging spell. It is not an easy spell to use. Magma Shield and Frost Nova are both far easier to use and do better AoE, but Thunderstep, especially an Arcanist, is better damage Because even though you might look at it and say, hey, that is 5 damage as compared to the other skills, that's actually 5 damage twice. If you Thunderstep directly down, you can apply both the start and the end damage. Oh, I didn't even need to be doing that much. I forgot that elites are squishier in 2 than in 3. Yeah. So by and on Arcanist, Thunderstep can apply 2 omens. So by stepping directly down into the enemy, you know, and hitting them both with the start and with the end step, you can get twice the damage, especially if you interleave it in the middle of a okay, I don't know what happened. I lagged out for a moment and then suddenly none of my spells cast. Is there still a mob? There we go. You can interleave it between the Moonblade blades, and then you can get 2 omens to pop, which is, you know, chonkus damage. Especially since the second omen will be buffed by the 15% vulnerability of the first omen. Very nice combination there. The other thing for not picking Sage's Insight is that you have no Prismatic Shield to reset, or you do, but resetting Prismatic Shield isn't as valuable in R2 as it is in R3, because Shield here is just a... Okay. Shield is just the shield and not actually the damage buff. You don't get the 5-second cooldown reduction, you don't get that healing on you don't get healing on spell hit. Oh. It is what it is, and it's not as potent. I mean, it's still useful. You can see I'm still choosing to run it, but that's more of... it's more useful as in it pops when you're low so that you don't die quite so much. It doesn't do anything for your damage. It's just a prime time for you to run away. If I was a potion injector user, that's where I'd probably pop a potion every time I heard my every time I heard shield pop. I just PI, but I don't run PI, and the potions I have in my inventory are often very, very random. I do not keep them stocked in any specific order, so I can't really pot consistently. I don't feel like getting a PI. I could afford it. I think straight up I could afford it right now, but I don't really want to. Where are these folks coming from? Of course, one of the benefits of using shield on Arcanist over shield on Elementalist is okay. Don't do that. Is that Arcanist has Moonblade, so even without the pressure to even without Sage's Insight to reset the cooldown on it, your Moonblade still drops the cooldown a fair bit. Prismatic Shield has such a long cooldown that you are maximizing the use of every Moonblade slash anyways. I love it when the spiders get their so-called friends trapped in walls. It's kind of hilarious. Now, if you do bring Arcanist into like strikes and stuff, do note that the enemy melee damage is higher, so it's often a lot more risky to use Thunder Step offensively. So, what this benefits most from is a understanding of how much health an enemy has and how much damage you do. It's not like, sometimes if you're playing like a rogue or whatever, or warrior, right? Warrior is the best case. You don't really care how much health the enemy has. You crit. If they're dead, then good, and if they're not dead, then crit them again. But with a move like Thunderstep, all my days, I have played pink a lot, but apparently not enough. With a move like Thunderstep, like, the enemy better be dead after you use it, otherwise you are getting cooked. It's kind of the natural equivalent of a move that gives you vulnerability after you use it. Like, I don't know, Reckless Swing? Okay, I was never around during Reckless Swing days, but I heard it was a move that dealt damage to you when you used it. Yeah, you can't really afford to leave the enemy alive, or if you do, then you better have the health to tank it. Okay, where'd you go? The other thing you'll note in... Okay, I forgot that went 2 shields. The other thing you'll note in R2 is that the range of an Arcanist is much poorer, because you don't have Lost Ruler and you don't have Cry Havoc. Yeah, it's much safer to T-step in R3 for damage, because Cry Havoc means you have not just... The benefit is not just in the fact that you can Thunder Step further, it's also the fact that it's a 6 block radius instead of 3. Or it might be 4, I don't actually remember the number. But point being, you end up within, I think, kissing distance of a mob when you Thunder Step for damage. Right? If you can hit it, they can hit you, and Thunder Step doesn't actually do any knockback. Regardless of what the skill says, Thunder Step doesn't do any knockback. Okay, fine, I'll actually break the tripwire. So, it doesn't stun, because you don't have Thunder Step you. So, you are just left with this ability where you walk directly into an enemy and hope you kill it before it kills you. Or you could dodge. You could use Moonblade Shield to cast. Those are all valid options. Even if you aren't, I'm gonna go down here. Even if you aren't, even if you're using like Ardent Convergence, part of Miss, right? I still recommend that you keep Moonblade Shield as your main hand shield, as opposed to something like, I don't know, I mean, for one, it is an agility build, so it benefits. Oh, yikes. So the main hand agility works at full efficiency, right? A little bit more DR, always nice. And also, you can block and still cast your like Moonblade. Moonblade and Thunder Step. You can't really cast anything else while blocking. You have to like unblock for a bit. But even then, it's worth it. And you shouldn't be using it as a main casting implement anyways. It's more like when you're backed up against a wall and you're out of other spells, you just pull it out. You wait for the enemy to melee you, and then you cook it with like an Arcane Strike, and hope that does good enough. Regarding the recent Arcane Strike change, I think, while it's interesting, I certainly don't believe that it's enough to make Frost Giant Staff viable. Bear in mind, Frost Giant Staff is I believe it's 18.5 melee damage. So even running A Strike 2, right, you still only gain about you still only gain so much from it. I think it's I do not remember the number. It's somewhere between 3 and 4 base magic damage on one skill, which is already made harder to use by the fact that you're using the shielding wand. Because it's a 0.8 attack speed, so you kind of have to time it correctly. Because A Strike doesn't pop if your critical hit isn't if your hit isn't fully charged. Which is annoying, especially on like Classic Cinders. See, that's why you keep Moonblade Shield in your hotbar. Live demonstration. Yeah, it doesn't work so well. Yeah, A Strike is awkward to use on slow ones, or even Thundering Legacy. People say I don't want to use Thundering Legacy because it's a 1.6 and I prefer being able to just swipe with my 4 attack speed wand. I fell down the pit again! What am I doing? Yeah, that's the other use case of that is evidently the other use case for Prismatic Shield, which is just to block falling when you're stupid. Yeah. I severely doubt that this makes wands good enough to justify the fact that the fact that Frost Giant's staff is literally worse in melee stats than Frost Giant's what's the scythe called? Crescent, right? Yeah, it's a straight downgrade. And yet scythes have been confirmed to be taxed. Like literally they have less budget because allegedly Warlock is a better class. I feel like this is more of a consequence of Reaper just having a 75% melee damage stapled onto it. I think I do not think that anything should have been designed around the existence of scythe tax. You would have been much better off by just making the scythes normal and then maybe not putting a 75% buff on a class. I mean, as it is, Reaper is struggling. They're like, yeah, the Seeding Creepers. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have built. Okay, maybe that was a bad idea. Sometimes you can get away with just spamming all your spells, though. And cool. Did it spawn the rest of it above the bedrock and therefore I only had to fight 2 things? The Colossi are funny, not sure. I do find that whatever complaints people have about R2 delve scaling being highly oppressive, I'm not feeling them so much, although I don't know whether that's because I am in whether that's because I'm a place that isn't forum or whether it's a place that isn't 25 point. I am solo, so I'm 12 pointing this. I suspect it to be the forum. Heal is fine, shifting is fine, that they're hard but they're fine. everything else is easy, and then forum is just like, yikes. Then again, maybe it's also because the bookshelves give me like super visual overload. I was thinking of making a resource pack where it literally just turns all the looms and the bookshelves and all the other weird decorative blocks in forum that give me a headache into like vaguely olive colored wood planks. I think that would be kind of cool, and also maybe I would play forum more. Forum content would be hard to make though. I don't know what kind of video I could possibly record that would go on in forum. At least, oh my days, Shielding Creeper. Bastard. Just dodge this iron golem while we mine the spawners out. And then conveniently also hit the colossus. There we go. There's a spawner up here, but I don't remember which one. It has the spawner, and I see a spawn I've missed. Maybe there isn't a spawner up here. Yeah, at least pink has like, there are 4 branches, and so you can make one video which is 1 branch long, and that doesn't end up being like 40 minutes. The Alchemy Labs video was 40 minutes, and I think like no one watched all of it because it's hard to be engaging for 40 minutes. I mean, streamers could do it because streamers have like chat engagement. I have no chat engagement. That's winter.